This is the GIS Evening Report for Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. I am Rikisha St. Louis. In the headlines, International Labour Organization commends Grenada for moves to improve local labour market. We'll have details to this story and more after the break.
Are you thinking about buying a vehicle? Did you find a company on social media? Stop. It may be a scam. Look out for the following red flags. Is the price lower than other dealers? Does it seem too good to be true? Are you sending the monies to the US even though you are ordering the vehicle from Japan? Does the address on the invoice match the address on the payment details? Are conversations limited to WhatsApp text? Is there a sense of urgency placed on you by the seller? You are about to be scammed. Do not take your hard-earned cash or even worse, a loan to send to these scammers. Once the money leaves Grenada's shores, you are not likely to get it back. Consider buying a vehicle already on island from an individual or a car dealer. Beware of these scammers. If in doubt, it's best to stay out. A message from the Financial Intelligence Unit.
Welcome back. The government of Grenada has been commended for its efforts to improve the local labor market. A 5-member delegation from the International Labour Organization, ILO, has just concluded a mission to this country to assess the existing labor structure and to propose ways in which it can be improved to benefit employers, employees, and the economy. ILO brings together governments, employers, and workers' organizations to address work challenges, set and monitor international labor standards, and work with development cooperation partners on projects and programs to help realize the Decent Work Agenda. Director of the ILO Decent Work Team and Office for the Caribbean, Dr. Johnny Musabayana, told the GIS that interventions by government augurs well for great improvements within the labor market. Dr. Johnny highlighted some of the key findings of the mission.
The labor market is vibrant. It is a means for transforming the lives and livelihoods of many working people. However, in that task, there is work to be done. The first that has struck me is first that your labor market laws need to be updated. There were extensive efforts in 2015-16, which unfortunately were left at draft stage. I pledge the support of the ILO to assist the current administration to see this legislative work through. I've been briefed on the ongoing work by the administration on pension reform, on tackling the challenging issue of temporary work, on contract work, and these are things that we commit ourselves to support.
According to Dr. Johnny, Grenada's labor-related concerns are not unique, but every country in the region experiences the same inconsistencies. However, it is the aim of the ILO to work toward getting every labor market in the region on the same level.
In this region, the country that has the highest ratification is around 50, and the country with the lowest number of ratification is around 10. You are at 34, so you are just above the middle, if that is a basis for comparison. But then it doesn't stop there. I would like to work with the whole region. I'm happy you raised the region because you are indeed a regional market. I think hardly many investors would come only to Grenada, or only to Barbados, or only to Bahamas. They come to invest in the whole region and service the region. And therefore, the labor market in the whole region must be largely in alignment. And in this regard, the free movement decision that has been made by the heads of state of CARICOM is going to work towards making this region a much more integrated labor market region. And that therefore speaks to the need for your legislative environment around the whole region to be at par. And in this regard, there's at this point too many discontinuities that we hope we can support the region to address.
Discussions centered on the provision of technical support by the ILO to Grenada in occupational health and safety, public employment services, international labor standards reporting, labor market information, and labor inspection. Labor and Consumer Affairs Minister, Senator the Honorable Claudette Joseph, said as a government they will work to fulfill the recommendations made by the organization.
Occupational safety and health in the workplace, and that applies across the board, ensuring that workers have decent and safe spaces to work. And so that's one area in which we're going to get some technical support. They've pledged that. We also have LMIS, labor market information systems, where proper data is collected and used appropriately to strengthen and improve the labor force and the labor market, and also to guide, because having proper employment statistics helps governments in terms of what programs and policies to pursue, and how we can best improve our economic situation by pursuing programs and policies in terms of education, health, what have you. Yeah, you understand? So that we will get some technical support on. There are other areas that we are going to be leaning on the ILO for support. Finalizing our dispute resolution mechanism as we improve and enhance on the labor code. We will take steps to bring the 2016 Act, which was passed in the Parliament but never brought into force.
The mission was held from April 29th to May 2nd. The team of technical specialists met with Labour Minister Senator Claudette Joseph, Permanent Secretary Anna Brizan, Labour Commissioner Mrs. Parker Grenade Courtney, members of the Labour Advisory Board, Grenada Trades Union Council, Grenada Employers Federation, and the National Insurance Scheme and Statistics Office. Work on the construction of 2 bridges along with gaps and curb walls are soon to recommence in the Annandale-Willis area. That's according to Parliamentary Representative for St. George Northeast constituency Honourable Ron Redhead. He spoke with the GIS during a site visit on Thursday. The project has been on hold for some time due to design issues and financial challenges by the contracting company. And Senator Redhead says his government has been working assiduously to get the project completed. MP Redhead says to find the right solution to resolve the many issues facing the project, a walkthrough was held with officials from the Ministry of Infrastructure and the contractor. The completion of the construction of the bridges and road network is of critical importance to government and residents.
To ascertain what are some of the low-hanging fruits that we would decide on and prepare the scopes of works for them, get them done so that we could deal with some of the pavement and deal with the bigger problem, which is the bridge right here, and to be able to resolve this problem once and for all so that residents and pedestrians and commuters could be able to pass in peace.
Parliamentary Representative Redhead says on May 3rd, the Ministry of Infrastructure is expected to provide an update as to the findings as a result of the walkthrough and meetings held with the contractor, as well as the identification of all subcontractors who will be engaged by government to have the work completed.
On Friday of this week, we are going to ensure that we get the update from the Ministry of Works. They will provide us with the updated scopes of works to finish people's driveways, gaps, etc. The next step would be to identify all of the subcontractors, and the government of Grenada will take on the responsibility to liaise with them through the original contractor and to ensure that this work of people's gaps, driveways, are all completed within the shortest possible time.
The redesigning of the scope of work and addressing an emerging sewer issue in the area was also addressed.
That's a critical part of it. We expect that to be more long-term in terms of the entire project, because the challenge that we had from day one, which was reported, is that the designs did not supply specific measurements. So often things were done, which in my view, if you don't have the measurement, I don't know why you dug it up, but things were done and unfortunately helped to create the overall challenge that we are faced with. I think what is good is that so far we've made good on our promise to ensure that we resolve this problem. So the sewage problem higher up the road, which occurred throughout the commencement of this phase of the project, we were able to resolve that completely. We are in the process to work with the private landowner to ensure that we repair the septic tank completely so that you would not have a relapse of this problem. And I want to thank the private sector Southern Waste, which assisted us greatly to be able to resolve this matter at a speedy time.
The first order, according to Parliamentary Representative Redhead, will be to have the gaps and curb walls and box drains completed, then revert to the 2 bridges. We will be back after the break.
Stomp out careless or intentional bushfires, dead out. Youths, hunters, smokers, let's prevent bushfires. Here's why.
Yeah, bushfires. The shorelands wet, crops should be bushfires. Can't eat the food, scarcity. Threatened biodiversity, cause water shortage, water calamity. Bushfires in watersheds deplete water quality, threaten property, life and security. Bushfires set intentionally, water insanity.
Bushfires can cost millions in losses annually and are often caused by careless or intentional actions indictable under the law. Forests are life-giving. Save them. A message from the Fire Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Caribbean Open Trade Support.
Welcome back. Grenada's Minister for Labour, Senator Claudette Joseph, has reaffirmed her government's commitment to advance the lives of workers. She was addressing the annual Labour Day celebrations in St. Patrick on Wednesday.
To my comrades in the labour movement, this administration takes the opportunity to congratulate you on a theme well chosen and to reaffirm our commitment to working with you to build and advance the lives of workers of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The theme recognizes your sterling contribution to our nation since independence and reflects the current atmosphere of stability, peace, hopefulness, and optimism, which allows us to confidently look forward with vision and purpose. And we would like to keep it that way. To the workers of this nation, past and present, we thank you for your service to Grenada, especially in the last 50 years. The government is proud to say that we continue to stand for you in ways that no other administration has done in the past.
The celebrations featured a march through the street of Sauteurs from the MacDonald College and proceeded to the Fur Recreation Ground, St. Patrick. They were guided by the theme, recognizing Labour's contribution to nation building over the past 50 years as we move forward with renewed vision and purpose. The May Day celebration was also graced with the presence of cabinet ministers and the director of the International Labour Organization Decent Work Office in the Caribbean, Dr. Johnny Musabayana. Union leaders Brian Grimes and Jude Bartholomew commended the government of Grenada for some positive moves that they have made.
The past few months have borne fruit in that new members of our bargaining units, state-owned enterprises like the Grenada Postal Corporation and the Grand Bacolet Juvenile Rehabilitation and Treatment Center have received salary increases for the first time in 7 years. This reality is a reflection of the importance of trade union representation.
I must put on record here today our deepest appreciation and gratitude to this administration, the man with a big and generous heart for teachers, workers in the labor movement, the poor working class peoples, the ordinary men and women of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, this present Prime Minister and his cabinet, for all the love and all the things that they have done for teachers and for the working class people of this country to improve our standard of living.
Here are some highlights of the Union March. The Public Workers Union captured first place in the March past with 437 points. They were followed by the Grenada Union of Teachers in second position and the Commercial and Industrial Workers Union in third. Grenada is among 4 countries in the OCS benefiting from a $10 million grant from the Global Partnership for Education, aimed at increasing access to and improved student learning in basic education through the OCS Program for Educational Advancement and Relevant Learning, OCS Pearl. There are 4 main components of the OCS Pearl, one of which is enhanced quality and equity of access for early childhood education and special education. The national coordinator for the OCS Pearl in Grenada is Dr. Astra Mackenzie. She explains the work being done by the OCS Pearl in early childhood education.
From the ECE point of view, what we are seeking to do right now is to upgrade some ECE spaces and to provide resources in those spaces. That's something we're doing in 5 of the preschools. So we'll be procuring equipment and devices, furniture, that kind of thing, because we want to make sure that we equip those schools to be able to provide quality education to those communities. Now, when we reflect on the aims of the project, which is to increase the access to quality, we have to be grateful, at least in our context, that generally people have access to preschool education. What we are focusing on in Grenada is to make sure that we give them access to quality. So we are focusing more on the quality. Some other member states are focusing on actual access. They didn't have sufficient public access, so they are providing access. That's not a challenge for us. So we are supporting, enhancing quality. On the other hand, while I'm saying yes, we don't have a challenge with access per se, we do have some schools, some communities where we have the children generally migrating and going elsewhere to school. So we are supporting schools in the hope that parents will want to have their children stay in the schools in their communities. That's something that we hope that will happen as well.
Dr. Mackenzie also notes that training in special education for early childhood teachers has occurred and that a common thread throughout all the components is teacher professional development.
You're aware that we facilitate an annual ECE forum.
Yes.
Yes, so it's an opportunity for ECE leaders to come together to learn about and tackle issues that they're passionate about. So this year we focused on special education needs. They had some concerns about supporting students with autism in their spaces. And not just Grenada, the 4 countries had that concern, so it was something that was tackled this year. Okay, so they get a chance to do that. They will also benefit from teacher professional development. And you'll find that professional development is a common thread through all of the components. It's an opportunity for us to build the capacity of teachers because we want to help them to be able to provide child-centered education in their spaces. That's critical to this project.
Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada have been reaping the benefits of the OCS Pearl project since the launch of the 4-year initiative in 2021. The OCS Pearl champions the goal of the OCS education sector strategy, which is every learner succeeds. That story just ended the GIS Evening Report for today. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rakisha St. Louis.